We are the people. I'm so tired of everybody not realizing that. We are the people. The only reason this man is popular is because of us. Because of us. If we decided to turn the internet off for one day and just stop paying attention to him, stop retweeting and stop, he would lose his shit.
This is a treat. We've been waiting for this since this podcast was birthed. Hello and welcome to the Best People podcast. One of the most special things that happened to any of us in covering the 2020 election was learning that this week's guest started to watch as well. She holds a special place in all of our hearts. I'd always been a fan, but I became a full-fledged groupie after her 2020 election commentary. She gave me my first and only nickname. I'm going to keep it forever. It's going to be on my grave when I die, Nikki, but she says it better. And more importantly, she lifted Steve Kornacki from total fan favorite to cultural icon. She herself is an icon, a real superstar with a real side. You probably know her from SNL or her brilliant stand-up special. She has a new one out called Life Part 2. It's brilliant and hilarious. Without any further ado, this is The Best People, and this is Leslie Jones.
Yay!
Hi.
What's up, Nikki?
Oh, I love that. If I could make it my ringtone, I would.
It wasn't Nikki, it's Nikki. I
love it.
You were tearing it down. It was just like, I was like, oh, Nikki gonna say it though. But Nikki gonna say it though. Yeah, yep. Uh-oh, there go the glasses. Whenever the glasses come out, there's some important shit being said. She got her glasses on, so she's seeing every word. Trust me, she's seeing every word. Get him, Nikki.
It lifted us so much. I mean, 2020 was so crazy.
It was insane.
And it was like still COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and it was crazy. And we had Kornacki, and we had the numbers, and Josh Shapiro was the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. And there's one show where his son comes in and out, and you do the funniest thing.
To get those ballots thrown
Right.
out and run to the Supreme Court.
And the cuckoo clock.
Clearly, they
His teenager comes in, and I have it saved. I watch it when I need to laugh.
I think I remember that because he was like, oh, and he came back. There was and I think I remember starting to do that because I was like, oh, wow, the COVID thing, the pandemic is making people have to film from their house. And I don't think people realize what's in their house. So it was my mission to like point stuff like that out, you know? And then MSNBC was the only station I was watching because I felt like I liked everybody on there. And I felt like y'all was the only one telling the truth.
It meant so much. It still means so much. But I also think it made 1 million people redo their books and buy fresh flowers and move their pets onto the couches behind them.
Do you remember the girl that was in the kitchen? And I said that she was in the kitchen. And then the next segment, she had an office. I was like, okay, girl, you got a promotion.
And Phil Rucker, who had the best, always had fresh flowers. And I guess that's what's really, really, really shines through.
And the guy with the old furniture, I was like, come on, man. I was like, this man knew Benjamin Franklin. He got Benjamin Franklin's rocking chair in his living room. What is Adam Smith? Adam Smith lived in a museum. It's like, what is happening? You remember the lady with the spooky library with the stairs in the back? I was like, is she a witch?
Like a spiral.
I was like, what is happening to this little funky room? Yeah.
But where does that come from? Where you're just watching? It's all live, right?
I'm a
where's that come
comedian.
from?
I'm a comedian and I love doing crowd work, and we wasn't able to perform. So I was like, what better way to get some performing in and some practice in by doing crowd work on all of the news anchors. It was actually really funny. I'm always surprised at how everybody reacts to my tweets. When I started doing it for the Olympics, I was very shocked at how everybody was just like on board. And I was like, damn, I think, people just be bored with what they're fed all the time. And sometimes people like to have some just light, you know?
I think too, it's like your whole, and I love that you play with fame. Like the first line of the special, right? Is like
Yeah.
they let me be famous. But you never hold that too tight. And so there's a real feeling with you. I mean, and I think the viral nature of your Olympics coverage and your election coverage is that you make us feel like you're watching just like we are.
Yes, exactly. And saying things that you're thinking,
Right.
and bold enough to say it out, And I love
But
that.
funny, like just like us,
Make it
but
funny.
fucking hilarious.
Right. Make it funny. Exactly. My favorite thing.
What is the inspiration? Like, what do you have to see to think like, yeah, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll send this out.
I'm glad you asked that. Okay, so it was certain things like Phil Rucker with the flowers. His was so, because I had seen him twice and I was like, okay, he keeps changing his flowers and it's right by that blinds and I need him to know how beautiful that looks. So it was really like that. Like I would judge the room and he always changed his flowers for me. And then there was another guy that would change his ties for me. I was loving it.
Well, we would look. I remember one night. So after election night, and like it didn't end. It was like this election that didn't end.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there in the breaks watching your clips from the previous block, and then we came
Hilarious.
out of the break trying to turn around to play them. So it became viral in both mediums,
It
right?
was
Like
so
online
awesome.
and on TV.
Oh, Nikki about to break it down. She about to break. Oh, there it is. There go the glasses. When she put on the glasses, she about to say some shit. And she got on her green top. Green means go. She is serious about shit today.
It was fun.
Really awesome. I was like, okay, I like that. And I was like, do I need to be smarter or something? They was like, no, we need you as crazy and off kill as you are.
But you are really smart about politics.
I'm very smart. You have to be smart, to make it funny. You have
That's
to
right.
be smart.
That's right. What is it about comedy that's so lethal to people that can't laugh?
Yeah, because it's the truth. And not only is it the truth, we form it in a way that can really penetrate. You know what I'm saying? Like if I could tell a joke about something that people are already thinking about and make it funny, yeah, that's deadly. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm informing you, and now I'm informing the crowd of what's going on. And this is what you see. Like we need more of that. We need more of that. We need more people pointing out the craziness that's happening right now. Because what's happening right now is not normal. We are in the upside down. We are definitely there. And we need more. And that's why they're trying to cut off the comedians and the speech, free speech. And they're trying to cut all of that out because more information, more ways of seeing things, critical thinking stops what they get to do. I tour all the time. Every time I go to a town, I look at their source that they're getting. And a lot of these small towns, they don't get you guys. They get Fox. That's all they get. And you would not believe some of the stuff that they actually believe. So our job is to come out and go, have some common sense. You know what I'm saying? Have some common sense. And this is funny. And that this is wrong also. So, and then narcissists don't like to be talked about. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the only reason that Trump ran is because Obama checked him. I think that's the only reason.
Well, he's obsessed with Obama. He's trying to indict him. I mean, he's obsessed.
I mean, he's just living rent free in that man's mind. I think that people like him are obsessed with people like Obama because that's who he wants to be. He wants to be cool like Obama so bad.
Cool, smart, and attractive.
And he's not. He's just, I hate to say this, and I remember telling Lauren this. I was like, the reason that Trump is getting the way that I was like, because he's a very aggressive white male, and he's using communications 101 to just really bamboozle people. Just the way he talks. Anybody who has to back up what they're saying is definitely bamboozling you. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's really great. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. It's great. It's great. I've heard that from car salesmen, bad promoters, You know, he's the, what do they call it? The elixir? Bad.
Yeah, like the snake oil salesman.
Snake oil salesman, or the emperor with no clothes. And what makes us, what I think MAGA is still supporting, because they don't want to admit that they made a mistake. And they did. And it's not just hurting us, it's hurting them too. It's hurting what we are. Okay, you know what's so crazy? Before I even got to know about politics, because I didn't know about that stuff until I started SNL. You know, I always thought America was the place you come with your dreams, and if you work hard and you do what you're supposed to, you make it, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's just, you know what's so scary is that everything that he said he was going to stop from happening is the things that he's doing, which makes no sense. It's like projection.
Do you think that some of that insecurity, I mean, did you see that? You were there when he hosted SNL, right?
First of all, he was scared of me
Why?
because I was honest. I just, yeah.
And funny.
Yeah, I was honest. Like, he was changing the cue cards. So I went out to Lauren and I was like, Lauren, go talk to your boy. Something wrong. He can't read or something because he keeps changing the cue cards. And that's a problem for us because we have to have the cue cards right so we know when we come in. And he's out there changing. So when he came into the table read, I will never forget this. He came into the table read. He had all of his scripts. And I remember this. You know why I remember this? Because I was thinking, look how small his hands are. And it was before people,
Rubio's.
it was before people started cracking jokes about his hands. So I was like, look how manicured and small.
Are they
his hands.
really small?
They are so tiny. And he's holding all these papers, and he looks like a lost schoolboy. He looks like, you could tell he was intimidated by walking into this room of people who are scholars, and you're going to have to read in front of them. So again, Nikkei, I didn't know who this man was. I just thought he was The Apprentice. New York had been telling everybody how terrible Trump was, but I just thought of him as The Apprentice. So when he sat down, and you could totally tell, it's just the mark of an insecure narcissist. He sits down, he puts all the papers down, he grabs his flip phone, he goes, yeah, get rid of that, sell that. And then he flips it down, and then, you know, I noticed it. Everybody's ignoring him because they're like, you're an idiot. But I noticed it, and I'm very much into making the host feel comfortable. So I was like, what you just sell? How much money you just make, Trump? How much money?
Say?
He was like, you know this, huh?
Do you think there was really someone on the other end of the phone?
No, absolutely not. And Lauren, I love Lauren because Lauren don't give a shit. Lauren was sitting there like, let's get this. This is business as usual. This is business as usual. You know, I think a lot of people irritate him. You can tell when he's irritated by certain people, but you can also tell when he's like, let's just get this over with.
I mean, how big of a deal do you think it was to Trump to be hosting SNL?
I think it was big because, of course, he wants to be some kind of famous
Celebrity.
I don't know what it is that he wants. Does he want everybody just to, like, he's the king? I don't even get that. I don't even understand that. But yeah, a lot of people though, Nikkei, a lot of people take that as something really big for them happening, which it is.
It is.
It's very, everybody didn't understand. Everybody was like, why are you bringing Trump on here? Everybody was mad at Lauren. A lot of people was mad. But I was like, Lauren is a puppet master. Like, he has to satisfy the masses. It's not just California and New York that's watching this show. It's Omaha, it's South Carolina, it's North Dakota, all these people. And he has had this show on air for years for a reason, because he dictates to all of them. Y'all can't be mad at him for making this show worldwide. You just can't do that. You know, that's what it is. Yeah, you can have a principle. Lauren used to tell me that all the time. It's like, he was like, listen, you have to draw a line between being political and being funny. What are you going to be? Because he told me, he was like, you got to watch out how you doing this political stuff. People are going to start thinking you're a political comedian. He was like, you got to watch. What do you want them to know you as political or as funny? And I told him, I want them to think of me, period. So whether it's politically or funny, that means that people are listening to me. But I did understand what he was saying. So
Do you feel that pressure now? Because I think of you as being one of the few people that's both and, right? You
Right.
are both authentic and you have mass appeal. I mean, is that intentional?
you know what's so funny? And I tell people this all the time. I censor the fuck out of my shit.
Really?
Censor the fuck out of it because
Well, are you afraid or
no,
why?
never afraid. Careful.
Ca-
Careful.
Yeah, deliberate.
Deliberate and careful. And I'll put it like this, like when they started going back looking at people's posts that they did 20 years ago. You go back on mine, all you see is shows. Because I knew then if I become famous, anything I do can be something big. So whenever I'm making a post, I look at it 3 or 4 times. I listen to what I say. I hear it in my ears. What are they going to be offended by? There's some stuff I never post. There's some stuff I don't talk about because I know people don't know how to have critical thinking and separating comedy before if I'm real or not. But so I censor my shit a lot because they do say, hey, Leslie, you have your certain fans that'll be like, I don't know if I liked what you said. And not that I listen to them. I am an entertainer and I like everyone to be satisfied. I'm just like Lauren. Like, I want to be able to perform for the masses. And in order to do that, you do have to have some discipline in what you say. Now, if I'm in interviews and I'm doing stuff, I'll say all the stuff. You know what I mean? But when you're doing live tweeting like that, you really gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful. But you also gotta be brave. Because there are some posts that I'll be like, I don't know about this one. But I have a feeling in me that it's going to be okay. Now, I've posted some stuff and it was not okay. But that's why I think I get away with it because I'm human about it.
Well, do you think people are overcorrecting for that?
Absolutely.
Like I feel like you're in a small category where you will, even if it's just in interviews, say what we all can see.
Yep.
And there's so many entertainers who I imagine privately are seeing all the same things, but they're scared.
Well, how can I put this? Okay, let me say this. I don't give a fuck, Nikki. I have a don't give a fuck that is diabolical. You know what I'm saying?
Where does that come from?
From being a comic, from doing crowd work, from being brave enough to go up in front of people and tell jokes. You gotta
Tell the truth.
Yeah. So it's really I censor the hell out of my shit though, because I know that I can come across really rough. But sometimes I don't. So it's kind of hard to answer that question.
No. But I mean, look, I think that's the art, right? Like that separates people that do what I do, the journalism, the commentary from the artist.
Absolutely. Because this is another thing, people looking to the wrong people. Like, you're not supposed to look to me to learn about the government. I don't know shit about the government. You're supposed to look to Nick Cave for that.
No.
Now you come.
No, but
to
more
me,
people. But more people believe you. I mean, this is you're talking about everything.
Right?
And I remember. Look, I worked in government when people were getting their news from the Daily Show, and that was a good thing.
Right.
And you're now. I mean, you're part of that world too. And I think that's a good thing. I think everyone has to let go, and if everyone is just telling the truth and doing their own piece of it, we're going to be all right.
I think so too.
Right?
I think that's a great way to put it. Yes, absolutely. Everybody just need to do their job. I think people stop doing their job. This is a question for you. What makes this man so powerful? Why are people?
We do.
No.
We do. The attention we pay him.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if we stop retweeting him,
He'd lose his shit. He'd lose his mind.
Like, okay, but can I ask you this? Why haven't the reporters got together, like maybe 500 reporters, and just take shifts, like send 10 in, and every time he say something, you're a fucking moron. You're absolutely killing the country. He kicks him out. Another 10 come in.
Look, I think the tension is that he won again. Like fair and square, he won. Here's what I don't understand about the Trump story. Trump does things that if you did it or Steph Curry did it or Justin Bieber did it, there would be entertainment press or sports press asking about his well-being. So Trump the other night, one night last week, posted 150 times. It came down to like 3 posts a minute. And I'm telling you, if a world-class, he's the president of the United States, if a world-class athlete or you or a singer or George Clooney did that, we would wake up. The Today Show, if it was a celebrity, would be covering, this weird behavior from a person in the entertainment world. ESPN would come up in the morning with concerned coverage if it was a baseball player or a football player. If Aaron Rodgers did that, tweeted 150 times, there would be sports. So, but because he's Trump, nobody even covers it.
If he was The Apprentice, we wouldn't care. He's the president. Do you understand? And that's crazy talk.
Look, it is crazy. And I think the other thing, look, I did this finally this week and it's too late. He's calling female reporters piggy and stupid and dumb and insubordinate. And to your point, I asked this yesterday, like, why don't people en masse say, I don't think that's cool, and walk out? Because he would lose his mind if the press stopped.
Wait a minute. Let me explain something to you. I don't understand how these people let that. I don't mean no harm. If he would have said, shut up, Pickett to me, I'd have been like, you fat yourself, you stinking bastard. You wouldn't be able to talk to me like that. Who you calling piggy, you fat horse you walked in on? I mean, like, how are y'all not losing your shit like that? He called a woman piggy. If Obama did that, Biden did that, they
lose their mind. Look, I think
they would have dragged Obama out to the yard and executed him right there with some of the stuff that he does.
I think because he's been so crazy in the public arena for so long that people just shrug their shoulders. But that's the woman getting insulted. I'm starting to wonder about the people watching. Right? Because if you're, listen, I got a kid in school. If you're a kid in school, there's the same punishment for the bully and the people that watch the bully.
Absolutely.
So I'm starting to wonder psychologically about and I'm not about myself. Like, I'm watching this happen and I don't say anything. Like, at some point, we are all part of the problem.
Yes, oh my goodness gracious. Nikki, what we gonna do?
I started reading some books about authoritarianism because I'm like, wait, what? We're covering authoritarianism? What?
This is what scares me, though, Nikki. How are we repeating the worst part of history?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Ronald Reagan saying that he's a Nazi?
No.
Can you imagine?
Or saying bad things about immigrants. Ronald Reagan is the last president of either party to do amnesty.
I'm just trying to figure out. Like, because I feel like people, there's a group of people that's like, yeah, the government needs to be changed, and Trump knows how to handle business. And I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. When he first said he was gonna run for president, I was like, oh, well, I mean, he's a good businessman. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about that movie where they got the regular guy. I forgot what the name of that movie.
Dave. I love that movie.
So
Dave.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah.
Hail to the chief, he's the one we all say hail to.
Dave Kovic was an ordinary guy.
Mr. Cole, your government needs your help.
We just happened to look like the president.
So
Dave.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah,
And-
Trump's going to bring in his accountants.
Be like, budget smudge it. I love Dave.
But he's not Dave. Dave
Correct.
cared.
He's more like the Dave lookalike,
He's
just checked out.
But some of the stuff is so obliviously racist. And then what's upsetting is when you hear people agree with him, when you hear the comments and you go, oh my God, this is scaring me that we still have this world going on. To me, racism is uneducated. You're uneducated if you're racist. And I'm not talking about uneducated stupid. I'm saying uneducated on what you're talking about. You're being fed propaganda and you're not using critical thinking. Like, when did critical thinking become a sin? Like, they use woke like it's a bad thing. Do you get what I mean? Like, when we get these tags on names like the DEI, we got to stop doing that shit.
But I think that I've read that you believe that since you were young, right? That people are not born with racism in their hearts or in their minds. They absorb it, they are taught it,
or they experience it. Yep, absolutely.
And I wonder what you think of some of that behavior being modeled at the highest levels of our politics.
Well, I feel like you shouldn't be able to be a politician or a judge if you have that type of, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand Republicans. I remember being in this church. It was a Republican church. And I remember this dude coming up to me because I had made a face at something that the pastor had said. And I was like, why would he say this in the pulpit? You're not supposed to say stuff like that. Like, the way that they use Jesus. I was like, Jesus would never talk to none of y'all. It's like crazy. And this guy came up to me and he was like, maybe you just don't understand what Republicans are. We earn our money and we feel like we should be able to keep our money. We shouldn't have to take care of anyone else. Everyone should be able to take care of themselves. He is saying this inside of a church. So I was like, I just remember saying, is Jesus a Republican? I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. Like, it's scary. We are repeating the worst part of history. We should have flying cars right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We should have breathable air. We should have all kinds of stuff going on. And it's scary how behind we are.
Do you think we're moving backwards?
Girl, you know what I think? And I used to say that. You know what I think it is? I think that we are not fixing the problem. I feel like it's repeating. You know, when you don't learn your lesson, the lesson comes back again. So we didn't solve this the first time. Racism is a big thing. You know, we haven't solved that. We haven't solved misogynistic stuff. Like some of the stuff I hear men say, I said, do you not ever want to have sex with a woman again? Because who is listening to you and still being with you?
Or do you think that if someone is with you and you have a daughter, do you want someone to talk to her like that?
Girl, when I did Ghostbusters, I could not believe some of the stuff because it's very stupid for a man to tell us, oh, women can't be Ghostbusters and then have your daughter's picture on your profile. So if your daughter came up to you and said, I want to be a Ghostbuster, you would tell her to her face that she couldn't be a Ghostbuster because she's a girl? My dad never said that stuff to me. My dad was like, you can be whatever you want as long as you work hard and learn how to do what it is you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you because you're a woman or because you're black, you can't do it. He would tell me that every day. I don't understand parents that don't tell their children that. I don't understand that. And how are you raising your daughter? How are you raising your daughter? You raising your
or your son,
especially when people use religion. I be talking to God all the time, and I be like, man, you need to do something. You need to send somebody down here. And he was like, I did. And y'all killed him. So you're on your own now.
your dad told you to be undeniable.
Yes, he did. Because the whole thing behind that is be so good at what you do. They have no, and that's what I did everywhere I go. I'd be so good. You cannot deny me. You just got to put me in the sketch. You got to put me on.
But what added pressure? I mean, that feels like
Really?
that feels like a lot of pressure.
No, that's freeing. That's because you've given yourself permission to step out there and do it. Like I'm more scared not to do it than to do it.
How does that manifest?
Meaning that I would be more scared not to go up and perform than to go up and perform. That's more scary to me because it's like if I don't.
It's like letting it slip away.
Right. Like, why would you let your dream slip away?
I think I know what you're saying. I after Trump won the second time, I think a lot of people were like, whoa, this is a scarier one. Like the first time he had like some serious people around him. Right. This time he's just gonna like, pick me up on the way home and send me to jail, and it felt scarier. And I think your point is like it's actually worse than to let him see you sweat or to blink than to just like go do your thing and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, that's why I'm not understanding. People know what Trump is. Why are y'all not calling that shit out? Like, and then too, the people that are jumping on the bandwagon, we're gonna remember you.
Yeah, like we can see you.
And listen, this has really affected even comedy. Like, there's a lot of clubs I don't do anymore because they have MAGA bookers now. And it's like, let me explain something to y'all. That is not going to last. And and the people that perform it, we're going to remember you. Because when it changed back and you're calling us, I'm not coming to your club.
I feel like it's that plus the betrayal on free speech. I mean, they obviously have no interest in free speech.
Absolutely. Well, exactly. But you know what free speech is? Free speech is telling the truth. They don't want nobody to be able to tell the truth. This is what makes me mad is that people are not looking at the little things that they're doing. They're not doing
Like what?
They're not doing just big things. They're doing little intricate things to mess with the system. It's very obvious that you make, this is not a profession anymore. And just so happened that all
nursing,
those
right.
professions are women. So it's very obvious that you don't want us to make our own money because you want us to be trapped at home because he thinks women are stupid enough to go, I'm going to just be trapped at home and have babies. What's wrong with you? The men that are like, well, if you were a good girl and just stayed home, did your mama stay home? Because my mama didn't stay home. My mama had 2 jobs.
But then what makes women go along with that?
Girl, I don't know many women that do, but I do know women that, and this is my thing, there are women that go for that. Go for them. Go get them.
Yeah.
But you don't want them, you want us. You know why?
Right.
Because we're valuable. You know, I can make my own money. I can think.
And we threaten that way.
Oh my God, we threaten it like because you can't control someone who has critical thinking. You know, I was talking to Erykah Badu. I went to her concert and we were talking about submission. So I had to get the definition of what you think submission is. So for me, if I'm going to submit to a man, which will never happen, I don't even understand. I don't even understand what that means. But if you're talking about submission of you find someone that you can be vulnerable with, that you can let your hair down around, and that he still loves you and gives you the nurture. But if you're talking about submit, like stay home and take care, fuck you. Fuck you.
But why it's 2025. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Like, how has that come back? Why is that back?
Because there are now a lot of women who are not putting up with the BS. So they have to figure out a way to break us down.
To like overcorrect.
I don't know if I said this in my special, but y'all told us how crazy we was as women, and we invented Oprah. We solved our shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just didn't do that. Y'all didn't grow. Y'all stayed on the couch and continued to play your PlayStation.
Like we read the books,
we
right?
Did everything.
Like we read the books.
And then now you're stuck, and now you're mad because your woman has moved on and has developed, and you haven't because you don't like yourself enough to do that. Like men are really arrogant. They have a lot of, you're the woman. And then this is what I don't understand. Where did they get that from when all of our parents worked? My parents worked, both of my parents, and they brought their checks home and they paid the bills together. Now you got a lot of men like 50-50. What you bringing to the table? I wish my dad would have asked my mom what she bring to the table. She was like, dinner, motherfucker. What you think? And get your ass up and clean up the table. Like what? There was none of that in my house.
So why do you think he won?
Why do I think he won? Because there's a bunch of people out there that really believe that he's the people's people. Like those MAGA people really think that he's going to save them. He's going to save their country. But they're not realizing they're believing in the emperor with no clothes. Yeah. I mean, think about any king that's gotten up there. The fact, when he had that Great Gatsby party, I was like, dude, you're going to pay for that, yo. Let them eat cake is basically what you're saying. And you know what happened to her.
Right.
You know what the question I have?
Tell me.
Why do y'all want America to suck?
That's the $64 million question. Because RFK Jr., you can put him there if that's your guy.
No.
But he's going to make people sicker. And he's going to make, and you can do what you want, I guess, unless the Supreme Court stops him with the tariffs. You can make everything more expensive, but that's going to make people more upset, more stressed, more anxious. It's going to put a strain on marriage. Like if you believe the things you said, everything you're doing hurts us.
And then too, if we're supposed to be the greatest country and we're supposed to be all this, then everything should be, our employment should be high, our education should be high. Like, why do y'all want us to be the dumbest people? I don't get that. I would think if I was the president, I'd be like, okay, so our country is behind. We need to do this, this, and this, because we want to be just as good as the other countries. But we are we should be embarrassed. As citizens, we should be embarrassed. And the fact that all those people voted for him, that scares me because we have a percentage of people out there who don't have critical thinking.
Why do you think comedy is so, flashing red to him? I mean, when they went after Jimmy Kimmel, I feel like that's the first time the Trump story started to turn in the second term, because the American people were like, wait, what? You're going to tell me, like, and that's where I feel like even the Trump side knows that it's comedy that has the power to call him out and say things like
Absolutely.
the emperor has no clothes.
Absolutely. And then too, think about it. He's a narcissist. So anybody that says something about him, that's a problem. Oh, I mean, think about how he insults them. Seth
Right.
Meyers, oh, he sucks. He's just not never.
He's not funny.
He's not
Yeah.
funny. Yes, he is. And that's why you're mad. It's just like when I'm on stage and I destroy. I just did this at the cellar. Destroyed this guy. Everybody, even his girlfriend, dying laughing. Why I get a complaint? Why he wrote a whole email? He wrote a whole email saying how uncomfortable he
shattered.
was. Because you
Yeah.
shattered instead of laughing at yourself. Because I tell you what, you would have got a lot more love from me if you did. Whenever I'm hitting someone on the stage, I am trying to make them laugh too. So I'm never saying anything that's like, very, awful. But I like to make people laugh about themselves so they can go and laugh later. They'll go to work and go, I went to a comedy show last night. Oh my God, Leslie Jones said I da. That's, you bringing joy everywhere now. Instead of taking it like a little narcissist.
But when you're there and you're looking out, like, I feel like you've got the narcissism radar.
You definitely know who you can mess with and not mess with. I always look in their eyes. And this guy looked safe. He looked safe. He was laughing.
Huh.
He couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So it's like when narcissists get and then they, like, think about it. Just go back to that dinner where Obama got and then dropped the mic too. Like, did you see his
comedy,
face the whole
yeah.
time? His face was
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, think about all the people he's went after. Stephen Colbert. I can't believe that they did. That's when I was done. I was like, oh, I'm done with y'all.
Is there any doubt in your mind that Colbert was taken off to appease Trump?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is the scary thing, that they appeased this man, that they appeased him. And then when you get the backlash, think about it. This is what I told everybody. We don't have to put up with this shit. We are the people. I'm so tired of everybody not realizing that. We are the people. Just like you said, the only reason this man is popular is because of us. Because of us. If we decided to turn the internet off for one day and just stop paying attention to him, stop retweeting and he would lose his shit.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
kill something, not feed it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I mean, with toddlers, negative energy is as much of a reward to like the dopamine system
It's very
as
scary.
positive energy. It's indiscernible. Like the brain doesn't decipher.
And you know what's so crazy with his popularity? Nikki, if he would have came out and said, put on your mask, wash your hands, I would have voted for him.
Everyone would have. He didn't even have to necessarily have a different result. He just had to look like he cared.
And leave it to the experts. These people that went to school for years, and you telling them fake news? You don't even know how to say a fettuccine. I can't either. But listen, I'm not the damn president.
I don't know why he doesn't just say Tylenol.
I'm thinking that people told him not to say Tylenol because Tylenol would be like, yeah, we suing you.
The thing about Trump is he's so mean about everything else and everyone else.
But this is what I'm saying.
that it's funny that he can't.
I mean, but
Yeah.
he can't take nothing.
Right. Because he's so mean.
When he does it like that, he makes the people that believe in him think that he's standing up for something. And I don't understand how educated y'all are. Y'all would let him get away with that shit. Like, how is the press not tearing him apart? That's what I'm upset about.
I think they're struggling with, and they're there to bring the news to their readers and their viewers, but they're humans. And I think bringing the humanity of that experience and finding the balance has to be the most impossible job in
But
the
let
world.
me
I mean,
ask you a question.
tell me.
Wouldn't it be the dopest shit if he did this to a reporter and they just let his ass have it? Like, cause like he likes to cut people. That's what they do too. They talk loud. They try to overtalk you and cut you off, but you gotta be louder. Like if he did that to somebody and they was like, you know what? You can't talk to me like that. And I'm tired of you being, everybody would be like, okay, she did it. I'm gonna do it. I promise.
Look, I think that it's impossible to know the pressures that they're under. Of
That's
course, I
true.
would love to
That's
see that.
true.
But I have no idea.
That's true.
You know, we have the privilege,
Yeah.
right, of
Yeah.
being able to say what we want.
Yeah.
And you have a level of fame where you can say whatever you want, wherever you want.
But not everybody got that.
I think that's a real place of privilege and power. And I
Yeah.
think that I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. I don't know what it's like. Would I like to see it?
Right.
Yes. But maybe the answer is that we have to say it for them. Right? Like maybe we have to start watching these briefings and I haven't taken a briefing live in a long time. Maybe I have to take them live and maybe we have to say it for them.
Maybe like start live tweeting it again, because I think it's a thing of giving people permission
Correct.
to do it.
And maybe that, like, I've started to, like, as I'm getting older, like, maybe that's my role. Like, maybe instead of being mad that they don't do it, maybe I do it. And I think it's like any relationship. And for me, I think the first Trump presidency, I was mad the whole time. And then
Yeah,
the
me
4
too.
years where I was worried about him coming back, I was scared the whole time. This
Yep.
time I'm sort of
Everybody.
in awe of people, to your point, saying like, well, I'm going to do my thing. And like in every corner of the country, there's someone doing something fucking awesome. Like I'm not sure what I would do. Like if ICE came up to me with guns and said, get out of here. But there are people standing up to ICE in cities all over the country, which is
Absolutely.
heroic. And I feel like and people go into No Kings marches, more people identify themselves as part of the No Kings movement
Yeah.
than MAGA.
And that's
incredible.
But can I ask? Okay, we hear all this ridiculous stuff. How is he getting away with doing some of the stuff he do? Like taking holidays down and then putting his I've never seen a president be able to do that without people checking him.
I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is that the Republicans in Congress are the biggest wimps ever, and they don't stand up to him because they're afraid. I
Because
think
like
part of
Gavin trolling him is the
It's
best
good.
thing.
it's
If
good.
everybody started doing that, he can't get everybody.
Correct. Safety in numbers. Do you think that more people will use their platforms as we head into the midterms to call him out?
I think so. I think there's so much stuff going on now, and I think people are starting to really be affected by the things that he's like. It's starting to trickle down for real. I think there's still probably a small percentage of people that's like, no, I'm going to roll with Trump no matter what. Like, and again, those are uninformed people. So I think everybody is starting to go, okay, I don't know why we're scared of this guy. We the people, we the people, we the people. I tell people all the time that we've become so complacent that we don't understand what we have to do. No one wants to lose their Netflix. No one wants to stop ordering from Amazon. No one wants to, I tell people that shit wouldn't have to last long. We shut Target down, 2 weeks. We shut them down. They still can't recover from what we did.
Kimmel, 4 days. 4 days of people
Let me tell you
canceling
something.
Hulu and Disney.
Dude, if you didn't buy cigarettes for a week, I mean, it's just little shit like that we can do to start showing, hey, like the fact that Starbucks is still filled amazes me. It really is a very big show of we don't give a fuck. Like the way that they turn DEI into something that is just so blatantly racist. You didn't even know what it meant. And we can control this narrative. We are just too scared and complacent to do it. And honestly, I'll tell you, I didn't know about politics. The only thing I was caring about was being able to go to work, pay my rent. They want to be able to take care of their kids, and they don't want to have to deal with politics. Politics is supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be all them boring people up there making sure that the world runs right. That's what a normal person is thinking. The involvement of it now is kind of insane.
Someone said to me, I think it was Doc Rivers, I asked him why the league the younger players are so much less involved than LeBron, and I mean, who was super involved in voting rights, who was super politically active. And he said the younger players don't think politics involves them, but what he's said to them is it's gonna involve you one way or the other. Whether you get involved or not, it's gonna involve you. It's gonna affect you. Do you think that anything has changed in the last 12 months? Do you think people are starting to see the connection?
I think we're not going to know until midterms. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to know until midterms.
There are a lot of signs that there's been a big swing. I think I think Marjorie Taylor Greene retired because she said we're going to be in the minority. You've got Republicans also saying there's going to be a big enough swing that Democrats will take control.
Why are Republicans not embarrassed? Your party.
I don't know.
I know one thing, because everybody, when I go someplace and people tell me you should run for president, I said, listen, this is the problem with that theory. No fucking celebrity should be a damn president. People who are in politics should do the political shit. I would be just as bad as Trump. I'm going to shut down a city if a dude don't text me back. Detroit don't get shit until Tyrone texts me back. Like, I'm just as ridiculous.
I'd like to see that.
I would make ghosting illegal. You can't ghost me. I'm a ghostbuster. I'm going to find your ass. So I think that we just have this. I think the internet has made everybody feel like they can be famous or they can do anything. Or I can be president. It's kind of, we're becoming a bad 80s disaster movie.
Do you think that there'll be a correction on the other side?
I promise I have the hope of it, but I'm really scared about the individual. There's so many people that have such different opinions. Like, I can talk to someone. It's so funny. I would say to my friend, I said to my sister the other day, I was like, nobody should be buying anything for Christmas. You don't need shit. Why is we still celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving? And she was like, what do you mean? It's I was like, do you not see what's going on? And she was like, well, you don't have to buy presents. You can still have Christmas. And I was like, yeah, but people don't understand that. Like, we need to shut this shit down. And we're just so complacent because we're so trying to still have a regular life.
It's the adaptive response to trauma.
Yes.
But you're talking about something. I mean, Scott Galloway is talking about economic boycott. And I think it was sort of like an out there idea until Kimmel. And then you saw, Bob Iger and Disney, they flipped on a dime in about 70 hours.
And that's what I said. People, do you see the power we actually have?
Your power, people's
if
power.
If we stand up and really just like I just heard I saw this article about them knowing that ICE was going to come to this elementary school, and the lady sent out the bulletin and made all the mothers and fathers and all the people show up at the school and just stand around. Yeah. Because if you stand together, nobody can stand against you.
Well, it's the safety in numbers. Look, I mean, I really felt like, oh my God, the stuff Trump's saying is autocracy. And the people they target the comedians, they target the media, they target the corporations, they target and take over the tech. Are you surprised that so many people rolled over?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still go back to the other presidents. If any of them would have tried to pull any of this, we would have just, what? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The insurrection fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that place, no one could do that. Like, what?
Yeah.
And they did it. And then have the audacity to be scared that we're gonna do it. Everything that they're projecting, they think that we're gonna do, but they're the people who doing this stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel when you go out and talk to people, like if I talk to people, there are a million assumptions about what I think because of where I work, which is kind of funny. I was just at Dick Cheney's funeral and my colleague Rachel Maddow was there, and it's like the world's upside down, but people still, make assumptions. I feel like you get people much more open because you're going to make them laugh regardless of who they voted for. Do you feel optimistic that the whole country is starting to kind of nod along at what you're saying? Like, this isn't normal and this isn't working out for me?
Yeah, and let me ask you, why would you go to Dick Cheney's funeral?
I worked for him.
Oh, okay.
And I like that he was for Kamala Harris.
Okay, because he shot somebody in the face.
So I was there. So I was there in the White House when he shot his friend in the face, and there was so much shit going on in the Bush Cheney years that the morning that he did that, my colleague Dan Bartlett called me and we talked about like 4 other things, and then he said, "Oh, one more thing, Dick Cheney shot a guy in the face." And I said, "On purpose?" And he said, no, it was an accident, but we got to figure out how to tell the press. You fast forward to the 2024 election, and Dick Cheney is one of the only Republicans, along with his daughter Liz Cheney, who's telling other Republicans to vote for Kamala Harris. So, like, Dick Cheney is a perfect avatar for how crazy politics are right now.
I don't know. It just feels like the upside down world. You see somebody that's doing something completely terrible, like some of these influencers, these crazy folks, and we let them go because freedom of speech, of course, but there should be accountability, like
gravity.
Yeah, like
things should fall.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you can't continue to keep doing some wrong, you know, and you're not going to pay for that.
How do you think it ends? How do you think the era ends?
Girl, this is what I'm hoping, that midterms people come out and vote like crazy to switch it over, and then the reckoning comes. That's what I want. Everybody that worked for ICE, I want them in jail. I just want a reckoning. I want a reckoning. Y'all know y'all did wrong stuff. You know some of the stuff you did was so wrong. I need a reckoning. Because to me, that's the only thing that's going to make it right. And then too, Nikki, do you feel this? Do you feel like everything is being broke apart for us to build it up right?
Well, here's my problem. For my kids to build it up right, they're doing generational damage. And so I'm not sure we know what's going on inside. We see the stuff that's so messed up, it spills into public. But my sense is that there's more happening that we don't know.
That we don't even know. Yeah.
How do you find the people so traumatized and help them? And how do you find the people that were scared? How do you go find the people that were fired because of the, political purge around DEI? I mean, I think the reality is that, especially in the military, but really in any institution, they're often the most accomplished people who had to be perfect to rise to the top of this institution. They just came in and blanket fired all of them and then blamed, accidents on DEI hires. It's a smear that hurts people, not just, it hurts everyone.
It didn't even feel like no one came out and said, "Do you guys know what DEI actually means?" Like, it just,
they didn't care.
It just feels like that, and it's so obviously freaking racist to blame Black people for this. It's just, do you know how much better we have to be than everybody else because we're Black?
The problem too is never what you say; it's what you think.
Yes.
Yeah. I love talking to you so much. Can we do this again?
Obviously, yes. Nikki, we homegirls.
I love you, and I love the
too.
special, and I love talking to you. We got to do this more.
I know. Next time we'll have a lot more jokes.
Well, I think we had to get this out of the system. We had to clear the pipes of all the shit in our politics, and then we can lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting better. I think it's getting better.
I'm gonna have the hope that, again, a lot of people are going to wake up and go, okay, we got to fix this. And the only way it's going to get fixed is through the people. That's the only way.
I love you so.
Thank
we
you,
just
baby.
scratched the surface. Thank you so much.
I'll come back again, baby.
Please.